thought I would read from the book so that you have an idea of how I talk to the kid, because the book is, although going to be bought by parents and teachers and grandparents and uncles like that, you really want to know what the kid is going to read. So this is Liftoff, the self-empowerment guide for teens. 3 easy steps to turn negative beliefs into positive actions. And if you're a teacher or a parent, you want the children you love to live happy, flourishing lives. This is the book which gives them the tools to take ownership of their lives and get to the next level. The age range is from 13 to 23. For most kids, the age of transition is 14 to 17. The language in the book tests for 5th and 6th grade, but the concepts are going to be new for most of them. So and now I'll get into what the kids will actually read. In the introduction, the kids will read this, if they read the introduction. Liftoff is a unique and practical guide to empower you from teen to adult. Everything in Liftoff is real, no myths, no BS. You'll learn that the answers that you've been looking for are really much easier, much simpler than you think. In level 1, you'll overcome the negative beliefs that limit you. You'll work on jobs that you can do alone. You'll organize your jobs into steps and do them. In level 2, you'll learn about the widespread negative beliefs in our culture. You'll learn to choose the positive. You'll understand when and how to work with friends or groups. In level 3, you'll learn that the capacity for empowerment is naturally within you. You'll gain self-empowerment from your positive experiences and choices. In the preface of the book, I present the mission. Liftoff is empowering yourself from teen to adult. You'll learn the 3 easy steps. You'll practice them and make them fun. In the process of learning and practicing, you'll conquer your fears and find your goals. You'll learn how to turn many small successes into a lifetime of purpose, achievement, and pride. The goal of our mission is your self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is the conviction that you have the power from within yourself to make your adult life the best life it can be. This book has tools. It has 3 worksheets and 2 checklists. Worksheets are a great tool for learning. Your answers will be about your life. Checklists are a tool for confirming your knowledge. You will see for yourself that you are making progress. In Liftoff, the workbooks, worksheets, and checklists will help you succeed. Woody Allen, the filmmaker, famously said that 80% of success is just showing up. My father once met Woody Allen, and Dad enjoyed repeating his famous saying, but he always ended it with his own twist. 80% of success is just showing up, and the rest is following instructions. I promise, if you agree to follow the instructions and answer the questions as fully as you can, you'll gain self-confidence, and self-empowerment can be yours. When you understand the principles of Liftoff, you'll set your goals for your own life. You'll learn how to make your own life instructions and follow them. If you read Liftoff without doing the worksheets. You'll learn about practical thinking, and you'll learn a lot about mind thinking. But you won't learn anything about your own. If you want self-empowerment, you must learn about your own thinking. And in chapter 1, put on your big kid pants. We start the ride. Now most young teens will just skip right over to chapter 1, so I wanted to have you see what chapter 1 was about. And it starts like this. The best part of being a kid is the fun. The best part of being a grown-up is the freedom to control your own life. Sometimes being a teen is the worst. You're not a kid, no fun. You're not an adult, no freedom. If you could have it all, you would keep the fun and the spirit of the kid in you and gain the control and the freedom of adulthood. In the scenario below, you're going to find yourself in a box. The box is a metaphor for everything that bothers you and holds you back. It may be very unpleasant and threatening to find yourself in this box. The box is the first step toward understanding the natural power of action that you have had since the day you were born, because you are human. So be brave, read on, and know that this is the very worst that will befall you, and you will beat it. Don't quit now. Just follow the instructions. That's where I'm going to stop at the book. And the message to you tonight, if your children want to know how to make their own lives, they need their own best life. They need to make Liftoff their vehicle to adulthood. You need to read this book. You need to understand their point of view. You will find the answers for yourself. Your excitement can make them want to read it. You can leave it around the house. You can share it. They can get it for themselves on Kindle and on their phones. Your job as a parent, grandparent, or teacher is to make Liftoff available. In short, your message is to them is, don't grow up without it. You'll thank me later. Last September, it dawned on me that I had a book that I was thinking about writing since I first read Atlas Shrugged in 1966. And I thought, most of the people that I was going to school with did not have the mental equipment, had turned off on the value of ideas. And this is back in the 60s, and could not possibly understand Atlas Shrugged if they fell over it, you know? And I thought, well, whatever level 2.0 is going to be, I'm going to make what I could do to spread objectivism to the culture. And I thought at the time that if a person could get the idea of what is in it for them to have a happy life, if they could process the idea that there was something in it for them, that paying attention to reality, paying attention to facts, as scary as that could be when you're a teenager, you can do it, you can get there. If they read Atlas Shrugged and they see the world that Ayn Rand is building, they would be open to understanding it. But back then, there was no such thing as independent publishing, and it just didn't happen. So somewhere in September, I got the idea, well, there is independent publishing. I'm going to do it, and we'll see what happens with it. And when I got here and they announced level 2.0, they said opening it up, and Ankar Gati made this whole speech about getting thousands more, objectivist scholars throughout the country, and I'm thinking, well, the people who read Liftoff, maybe 1% of them would wind up being an objectivist scholar. But if they get what this book is telling them, there could be millions of people in the productive economy happy with their lives and willing to support those objectivist scholars, in their mission to revamp the culture that we're living in. So I thought, well, I guessed right, and so here I am.
Yes, sir.
Question for Ilene. Is the book targeted for an objective audience, or is it a more general audience?
The book is for a general audience. It is what I did here in the book. There is the only quote from Ayn Rand is, to hold an unchanging youth is to reach at the end the vision with which one started, because that's the teenager. They have an idea, they want to stay the kid, they want to stay that happy vision, and they want to take that with them in their journey through life. That is the only quote. For some people, that's enough for their parents to close the book and never let the kid have it. The book is available on Kindle for cheap, so the kids, once they start knowing that other kids are reading it, they can get it for themselves. That's not going to be a barrier. This is meant for people, whether they are religious or not, whether they are nihilist or not, whether their parents are or not. This is meant for the kid. It is reality oriented. There is no myth. It says, look, if you want to believe in God, you have to prevent yourself from doubting, but you can believe if that inspires you to do great things. But self-empowerment is something that comes from within you, not from some state, not from some higher being. So it emphasizes the positive parts. I really worked hard to keep negatives out of the book, because a lot of times when you read the literature, and it doesn't matter, our culture is so negative. It's not this, and it's not this, and it's not this, and it's not this, and you have to guess what it is that is going on. So for example, in the second level of this book, I explore all of the logical fallacies that are important. If it's true for you, it may not be true for me, the ideas of contradiction. And I show the kid, you really don't have to memorize all of those things. It's a very simple test, and you know by that test that you can just ignore that. It's like when Dagny woke up in the valley for the first time and looked at John Galt and said, we never had to take any of that seriously. That's the aha moment that I'm trying to get the kid to experience for himself or herself, so that when they get to Atlas Shrugged and find that book, objectivism is like a natural result.
I've already read Atlas Shrugged and stuff, so do you think there's any value to people, for people who already, have a pretty good grasp of the philosophy?
I think there's a tremendous value, and the value is this. Ayn Rand said that it's her philosophy was reason, purpose, and self-esteem, right? Okay, what is this about? This is about self-empowerment, okay? I say to the kid, reason is your tool of survival. Purpose is purpose is what keeps you going. Self-esteem is the pride you feel. But self-empowerment has an action component to it. So this is adding action to Ayn Rand's 3 cardinal virtues. And it says, you're growing up, and in the case of adults, you're getting older. Are you living the life you want to live? And it's, okay, what do you do? I have to say that the young man there is responsible for this key concept, which he told me when he was 18, was I came home from work, stressed, completely overwhelmed by a job that I had so many conflicting bosses and schedules and deadlines and everything like that. I thought maybe I should just jump out a window. And you don't tell that to a teenager. They don't want to, you don't want to hear it. And he says, Mom, you have it all wrong. He says, there's only one job you can do. That's job 1, the job you can do now. All the rest of them don't count. You have to figure out what job 1 is. And that's what this book is about for teens and for people who want to be more efficient, more happy, more working towards goals in their lives, who want to make sure that they don't get lost, When I was writing this book, I encountered a large group of self-publishing authors, all writing very, very positive books. You can lose weight. You can find God. You can get cured. You can, whatever it is you need to do, these people are writing all positive books with completely contradictory nonsense philosophy. But there must be a huge market for positive books. And I looked at it and I said, but I'm the only one in this group that has a philosophy that matches that positive outlook. So that's why I did this.
Can I ask a follow-up? I'm just wondering, I was a little bit intrigued by the worksheets and checklists, and I wondered if you might be able to tell us a little more about those.
Yes. Okay. The first worksheet, the book, the Kindle version has a worksheet, thing that you can download and from the internet. But this one, this version has them all built in. The first worksheet that the kid fills out is called Negatives That Limit Me. That's why that first chapter is scary, because in order to face the things that limit you, you have to sort of put on your big kid pants and decide to deal with your problems. So the first thing is negatives that limit me, and then positives that I choose. So it's from him or her. It's about their lives. What bothers them, and what can I do? What can they do about it? And then I teach them how to. There are 2 checklists, and they can check. And actually, Betsy's book was a resource for mine, and I even quote her because her theory of cause and effect is better than anyone's. I mean, it is. It's just, it is right on. But yours is explained much better for me. Okay. For modern audiences. So, and then this shows a kid that you know, as adults, we have multiple jobs. We have things we want to do and we have things we have to do. And we've got to balance that, you know, we have to balance our lives. And so so the third worksheet is the job stack, where you sort the jobs out by what's going to be job 1, what's going to be job 2, what's going to be job 3. And it's not the order you get them, it's the facts of the job. It's the nature of the job, the characteristic of the thing that makes the job what it is. And the worksheets allow you to tell them apart. You can split them up. And the whole story is here, how I presented it to my group, how they groused about it, how they sort of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. When you have a job, I might ask you, is it your job 1? Is it your job 2? What makes it job 3? And we had an amazing turnaround in that office. Within 3 weeks, everything was just flowing because people knew what to do and knew what they couldn't do. The paralysis of analysis disappeared.